Esteemed writer, director, and original Predator cast member Shane Black is bringing the galaxy's most feared game hunters back to the big screen in The Predator. The Predator will reportedly contain references to every film in the Predator franchise, including the AVP movies, so you best make sure you understand the roots of this thing before dropping yourself into the meat grinder. Need a refresher video on this iconic 31-year-old sci-fi series because you ain't got time to read? Well,
stick around.
Here's the Predator series in roughly 5 minutes.
Billy, Mac, Blaine, Poncho, and Hawkins are an elite rescue team led by retired soldier Dutch. The team arrives in Central America for a mission, their presence requested specifically by CIA pencil pusher Al Dillon.
After sharing the greatest handshake in cinematic history, Dutch and his team of goddamn sexual tyrannosaurs are sent deep into the jungle with Dillon in tow to rescue a local cabinet minister and his aide, who were being held hostage by guerrillas after their helicopter went down. The team discover the downed chopper, but on their way to the guerrilla camp, they also find 3 skinned corpses. One of whom Dutch IDs as Jim Hopper, a Green Beret he knew personally.
The team let old Paintless out of the bag and wipe out the guerrillas, but Dillon is forced to admit the now dead hostages were actually CIA agents. And Dillon cooked up the bogus mission after Hopper and his squad disappeared.
So he cooked up a story and dropped the 6 of us in a meat grinder.
The team leave for extraction with Anna, a captured gorilla, but they're being followed by an unknown hostile who is watching and learning.
This is where things go tits up for Dutch and the boys, and the Predator kills Hawkins, Blaine, Mac, Dillon, Billy, and Poncho. Realizing their enemy only hunts armed prey, Dutch sends Anna to the extraction point.
Get to the chopper!
Dutch also realizes he can use mud to hide himself from the Predator's technology. And after the Predator collects his trophies, Dutch goads it into a final showdown and crushes it with a big-ass log. Dutch survives the Predator's self-destruct device and is picked up by the chopper.
Cut to 1997, and a new Predator has set up camp in Los Angeles, right in the middle of a street war between the cops and the local Colombian and Jamaican drug gangs. During a shootout with some Colombians, Lieutenant Mike Harrigan, alongside fellow detectives Cantrell and Arcoletta, find the Colombians have been suddenly wiped out by an unknown assailant. It was a Predator! Harrigan doesn't know this yet, of course, but he does catch sight of something weird. Back at the station, Harrigan is warned to stay away from the gangs by Special Agent Peter Keyes and has a new officer assigned to his team, Jerry Lambert.
That night, Jamaican gang members murder a Colombian drug boss in his apartment, but the Predator makes another appearance and wipes out the Jamaicans.
Harrigan and his team arrive and spot one of the Predator's weapons wedged in an air conditioner, but are kicked out of the crime scene by Keyes. Arcoletta returns later to retrieve the evidence, but the Predator kills him. Then after that, a whole lot of other people too, including a Jamaican drug lord, some thugs on a train, and Lambert, but not Cantrell, who the Predator observes is actually pregnant. Anyway, Harrigan finally learns that Keyes and his men have known about the existence of Predators all along, and that they've been trying to capture one for some time. Keyes tries to trap it, but of course that doesn't work, and it ends in a bloodbath. But Harrigan eventually bests the Predator, and is rewarded with an antique pistol as a trophy from the Predator's clan in recognition of his skill. Now, at this point, we need to touch on the events of AVP, which explain to viewers that Predators have actually been visiting Earth for millennia, and used to be worshipped as gods by various civilizations around the world upon their arrival every 100 years. They come in threes to purpose-built ancient facilities to hunt aliens bred in sacrificial human hosts as part of some kind of extraterrestrial bar mitzvah. Anyway, when 2 of the Predators are killed, the remaining Predator teams up with the last surviving human lured to the temple, and they share a toboggan ride and a tender moment before killing the alien queen. The Predator doesn't survive, however, and the highly advanced spacefaring Predators let a Pred-alien hybrid burst from the unattended body of a dead comrade who has obviously been in contact with many aliens, despite knowing how they breed by spending several thousand years literally deliberately breeding them. The horrible, drab, and bafflingly cruel follow-up Aliens vs. Predator Requiem crashes the Pred-alien into Earth, explodes some pregnant women, nukes an entire town, and really shouldn't have been made. Do yourself a favor and pretend it doesn't exist. Let's just go straight to Predators with an S. A mercenary named Royce awakens in midair to find himself parachuting into a mysterious jungle. On the ground, he meets drug cartel goon Cuchillo, Russian soldier Nikolai, Israeli sniper Isabel, death row prisoner Stan, Sierra Leonean rebel Mombasa, Yakuza gangster Hanzo, and Eric from That 70s Show.
What the f*** is going on here?
After stumbling on an ominous collection of empty cages and a dead US soldier surrounded by traps, the motley crew discover that they are not on Earth anymore. After battling a pack of alien hound-like creatures, Royce determines they're trapped in an alien game reserve, and that they're the game.
We're being hunted.
After Cuchillo is killed, they decide to go on the offensive instead of running and track the hounds to a camp where they find a trussed-up predator. However, when Mombasa is killed, they quickly decide running wasn't such a bad idea. After regrouping, they run into Noland, another human who's been trapped on this planet for 10 hunting seasons.
Nolan tells the crew that the predators come here in groups of 3, then tries to kill them to steal their gear.
He wants what we have!
Royce causes a ruckus to draw in the predators so that they can escape. Nolan is killed, and so is Nikolai, although he manages to take down one of the predators with it. Stans is also killed in the escape, as is Hanzo, but Hanzo also slays a second predator before checking out.
Royce returns to the camp, cuts down the tied-up predator, and convinces it to send him back to Earth on a nearby spaceship. Isabel stays behind, but she shouldn't have, because Old Mate is actually a serial killer, and he paralyzes her with a neurotoxin he picked up on his scalpel earlier.
That is really poisonous.
In the meantime, the last of the predator hunters returns to the camp, kills the predator Royce freed, and blows the ship. But Royce isn't on it.
I missed my ride.
Royce returns to save Isabel and uses a paralyzed Edwin as bait for the predator. Royce uses mud and fire to outfox it, and he and Isabel take it down.
The movie concludes with another batch of parachutes appearing over the planet, indicating hunting season ain't over yet.
And nor is this franchise. We'll find out if handing Hawkins the reins was a good idea very soon. In the meantime, check out IGN summaries of the Mission Impossible series and the Jurassic Park saga.
Do it! Do it! Come on, come on!